A teenager is in custody in connection with an attempted carjacking overnight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lawrence Graffiti. Officers arrested a 16-year-old, but Thornton police say other people are still on the loose. At around 3 a.m., Thornton police posted about the armed carjacking attempt that happened near East 104th Avenue and Riverdale Road. However, Aurora police say this all started when their officers spotted a stolen car connected to a robbery in Lakewood earlier this week. They started the chase, but pulled off right after they lost sight. Thornton police eventually found the car, and they say they used a pit maneuver to stop it. 3 people ran, but officers only managed to catch one of them, the 16-year-old. If you can help the case, call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. CDOT finally got to remove a huge piece of construction equipment that blocked I-25 this morning, but it's still a bit of a problem. The very heavy and boxy equipment called a shuttle buggy fell off of a truck around 6 a.m. and blocked 4 southbound lanes near 20th Avenue for hours, causing a huge backup. It weighs around 80,000 pounds, so yeah, it wasn't that easy to move. Crews didn't get it cleared until 11:30, more than 5 hours later. But take a live look at our CDOT cameras right now. It shows that some of the lanes are still blocked and there's still a pretty big backup there. A mistake is said to have caused last month's train derailment in Denver that seriously hurt a conductor. That's according to the National Transportation Safety Board report that just came out. Transportation investigators say a train reversed onto the wrong track and collided with parked rail cars. This was just after midnight, August 5th, at the BNSF Railway's Globeville yard. Investigators say 8 cars derailed and the conductor was thrown from the train. Then a rail car landed on top of him. That conductor ended up losing at least part of his right leg. The NTSB says the damage is estimated at around $400,000. Federal investigators are now looking into safety procedures and switch operations inside of the yard. The Morgan County Coroner's Office has identified the person killed in last weekend's mid-air plane collision as 35-year-old Kristen Morris. They say that she lived in Denver. She was a passenger in the plane Sunday that was trying to land at the Fort Morgan airport but hit another plane. 2 people were on board each plane. The 3 others survived. The FAA and NTSB are working to figure out what went wrong. We are going to continue to bask in the sunshine and be free of storms today. It's a great start to September. Joining me now, we have Chris Bianchi with our 9 News Weather Impact team. We've got more sunshine on deck today.
And Lauren, slightly different than 64 years ago today, when it snowed 4.2 inches of snow, for us in Denver. Again, 64 years ago today on September the 3rd in 1961, we had snow and quite a bit of it in the Denver area. In fact, in parts of the mountains, over a foot of snow fell. But today, not exactly the story for us. Sunshine abound in Akron, and same for us here in the Mile High City. Low to mid 80s right now. A little breezy out there. That'll be the main impact. Otherwise, those temperatures, pretty nice for this time of year. 60s and 70s for us in the high country. Radar quiet as could be right now, and later today we'll top out at 86 degrees. This will mark our first above average temperature, high temperature, in 12 days for us here in Denver. Those overall headlines, warmer temperatures today, but then Friday we cool down, and then storms this weekend. I'll tell you all about it coming up in a few minutes.
Chris, thank you so much. Denver is starting to lose state and federal housing vouchers, presenting another hurdle to the city's fight to solve homelessness. City leaders say that means Denver likely won't hit the mayor's goal of moving 2,000 people off the streets and into permanent housing this year. The Denver Housing Authority lost 100 housing vouchers last quarter after federal funds were pulled. The state cut another 80 vouchers as Colorado faced a $1 billion budget shortfall. Those vouchers help people transition from shelters to permanent housing.
If those vouchers go away, now the exits for people to leave our shelters and go into permanent housing are blocked. That means those folks get stuck in those transitional shelters for longer and longer. That means people that are on the streets trying to get into those transitional housing sites don't have spots come open.
The city says the changes have led to a slowdown in people moving out of shelters and into housing. Immigration advocates say at least 4 more Coloradans were detained after showing up for a check-in appointment with ICE. The advocates say the meetings were called with unusually short notice last weekend. Advocates estimate around 40 people got to the check-in on Saturday or Sunday. It can be standard for people to report to ICE officials every 6 or 12 months while they have a pending case or application. But advocates say the concern was the short notice. They also point out many people were asked to report to a deportation officer that they have not had to report to in the past.
I think because it was unusual, it definitely made all of my spidey senses kind of emerge. Yeah, so there were other people too that were like, we haven't seen anything like this, and so it's concerning.
Advocates say they're aware of an elderly man who was detained along with about 3 other people. They're working to learn if they're still in custody or if they've been released. A federal appeals court has ruled that President Trump cannot use the Alien Enemies Act, as he has before, to quickly deport alleged Venezuelan gang members. The court found there was no predatory incursion by the gang, which Trump had cited as justification. The decision blocks the administration from using the law in several southern states. But President Trump hasn't relied on the law since mid-March, after his use of it triggered a string of legal challenges. The Trump administration is looking for more Border Patrol agents to help with deportations. One of its recruiting efforts is happening at CSU. A webinar to recruit students for the U.S. Border Patrol is being advertised through the CSU career platform called Handshake. It promotes Border Patrol positions with higher grade opportunities and entry-level openings. While CSU says the event is not officially affiliated with the university, some students say they're not happy about it.
We do not want Border Patrol agents on our campus, and most definitely not, we do not want them actively recruiting our students to be deporting more of our students, of our family members, of our loved ones, of our community members. I think if it was an in-person event, we would be organizing protests right outside the event.
The listing offers up to $30,000 to newly appointed Border Patrol agents. That's a big incentive for anyone graduating with student loan debt.